Recently, the general discussion around Battlefield 2042 has soured a little bit because of the specialist situation, but I have seen a lot of people discussing Battlefield Portal and how that's going to be their go-to location when 2042 launches in order to get away from the specialists. Of course, they are a controversial addition, and being totally honest, I am still struggling to see the benefit of moving Battlefield away from that iconic class system that's worked so well since the franchise began, but I am willing to try all of the specialists out at launch and see what I think. But today I wanted to cover off a bunch of Portal detail that has kind of flown under the radar or people may have forgotten about since the announcement of that mode. And recently, with the conversation sort of bubbling back up about it, I thought it might be good to add a bunch of info into that conversation. So the headline features of Portal: 6 maps from previous Battlefield games will be part of Portal at launch. You've got Battle of the Bulge and El Alamein from 1942, Valparaiso and Arica Harbor from Bad Company 2, and then Caspian Border and Noshar Canals from Battlefield 3. Those 6 maps join the 7 from Battlefield 2042, and that gives you a total of 13 different maps to play with Portal at launch. But Ripple Effect and DICE have already said that future 2042 content, so more maps, more weapons, more specialists, whatever, all of that will come to Portal as well. So all of this is going to grow over time. Over 40 weapons to start off with, over 30 gadgets, and 40 vehicles will be available in Portal from those 3 previous games. And you're going to earn XP and rank the same way that you would in All Out Warfare or Hazard Zone. So you've got this unified progression across all the different ways to play in 2042. Portal's no different. If you play it, you're going to earn XP in the same way. Those are your headline features. So this means that you can access the classic classes from Battlefield 1942, Bad Company 2, and Battlefield 3 in Portal, and then use those as the soldiers in matches that you create and host. And specialists can be completely disabled in Portal, so you can create a classic Battlefield match in terms of classes, all the while mixing and matching those different classes from previous games. So if you want 1942 Germans versus Bad Company 2 Russians, then you can do that if you want to, but of course that is the classic class system. Going beyond that though, there will be so much more that you can do with Portal that sets it apart from All Out Warfare. And this is where I think that those true Battlefield fans out there are really going to have the most fun with this new game. Recently, I saw a bunch of data mined information about what sort of options you're going to be able to control for your servers or experiences in Portal. I'm not going to share that data mined information here because it might not be correct, but having been part of a previous behind closed doors presentation for Portal back in the summer when the mode was announced, I can tell you that even the data mined information is really just the beginning. It's like the tip of the iceberg. It's barely scratching the surface of what Portal can do. Now, I didn't manage to take down all of the details from that presentation. The people leading it had a lot to cover, but I got a chance to take a look at the flow of creating a server or an experience in Portal, and it is very comprehensive. It covers off all the basics, things that you'd expect, like what maps and modes that you want to play on your server, how many reinforcements or tickets a match should have, all of the usual stuff. But then it dives deeper into other elements like soldier mobility, so you can enable or disable prone, you can turn off ADS if you want to, you can change the sprint speed, I think, or at least disable sprinting, so if you want people just walking around, you can do that. You can change the HUD to remove certain elements of it for everybody, editing the available weaponry down to a per weapon category or per weapon level. So if you just want to disable one weapon in Portal, you can do that. Or if you want to disable an entire group like SMGs, you can do that as well. And then going on even further, you can do the same for vehicles. In that creation flow that I got to see, the amount of options that were available, even just at this point, was perhaps more than what most people are ever going to need to create their own experiences that they want to play. And that's great for maybe clans or groups of players, sub-communities that want to create a very certain experience and then play it all of the time. They can create almost exactly what they want, have it running 24/7, and then everyone in that group can just continue to enjoy the game the way that they want to play it. But going even further, I know, there's many steps to this, seems people have forgotten about the logic editor for Portal. This is an additional layer above the standard flow of creating a server, and it's going to allow someone with quite a lot of patience and the knowledge to to really create a truly unique experience within Battlefield 2042. You've got options to create specific rule sets, victory conditions, team scaling, and even specific in-game events that you can create with this logic editor. Now, this screenshot here is all I'm allowed to show you of the editor, and it goes some way to giving you an idea of what is to come from Portal. Anyone may be wanting to create like a gun game style mode where it cycles through all of the weapons and then you reach a final weapon, you kill somebody and you win the game. I think that's possible within Portal. If you wanted to create some kind of like AI wave mode where it's just you and 3 other players against, I don't know, like 124 AI per level, like zombies in Battlefield, so to speak, you could probably do that with enough time invested into this logic editor. Now, it is quite advanced stuff, I will admit. Most players probably won't ever touch the editor because it's just going to overwhelm them, but if you are somebody who wants to create something unique, you've got the time and the patience to do it, the tools are definitely there for you. And that's really exciting as a Battlefield fan because, I don't know if you remember, for the most part, Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5, they removed pretty much all abilities to really customize the game experience. They locked down the server system, and DICE sort of took a greater ownership of the wider Battlefield experience. They wanted to guide people in a certain way. Battlefield had to be played in a certain way, and they didn't want people branching off too much. And maybe the only different thing they did was operations in Battlefield 1, and then that became Breakthrough in Battlefield 5, and now we're seeing that in 2042. That's really the only benefit I'd see from that previous system of locking everything down. I'd argue that that hurt the Battlefield experience more than that it improved it. So giving players back the tools to create something that is likely to lead to those moments that no one ever really expected, and giving them the tools to play the way they want to play, is likely to keep those players continuing to return to 2042 and Portal, and keep returning time after time, because they know there's something there 100% of the time that is 100% to their liking. And there's probably going to be a bunch of other players who also like that style and will be playing as well, so there'll always be servers around for people to jump into. Now, Ripple Effect, the team behind Portal, has said that they'll be populating Portal with a bunch of different official experiences that will be created by the development team, and those will then exist alongside the other community-created experiences. So if you're not looking for something uber customized by some random person out there who just created some mega mode that you never even thought of, you don't have to play those if you don't want to. It's very likely that you'll be able to launch into Portal, find something that's more your speed, and go and have fun. I'm guessing that there will be classic 1942, Bad Company 2, and Battlefield 3 experiences running on Conquest and Rush on those maps, using the weapons and classes from those specific games, if that's what you want to do. Of course, the opportunities are endless in Portal, but also, you can still create a very classic experience if that's what you want to do. If you only want to change just a couple of things to really make the mode something that you want to play all the time, then you can do that as well. You can make hundreds of changes, or you can just make a couple. Doesn't really matter. Portal supports all of that. Portal is this huge sandbox that I think Battlefield should be, and then alongside all-out warfare as an element of the game, and Hazard Zone as well, you've got Battlefield 2042 offering just a massive amount of gameplay options. And we've been stuck in this specialist debate for the last few weeks, and it's really clouding over a lot of the other really good elements of this game that have been revealed, but aren't currently being highlighted. Portal solves the specialist problem. You can create a server without specialists with classic classes, if that's what you want to do. It is the solution. But then, all-out warfare, that's giving you the brand new Battlefield experience that's set in a world of failed states, no pats, and new weaponry. And then Hazard Zone changes the tone again and brings in that survival battle royale element that is clearly very, very popular in the shooter scene right now. There is just so much happening in 2042 beyond those specialist characters that you may end up playing as, if you choose to play as them. Because, of course, you don't have to. You can go over to Portal and disable them, and you can play in a bunch of servers without specialists, if that's what you want to do. I just wanted to sort of highlight that today because it seems like things are getting quite negative about specialists, and I'm like, well, there are options to remove them. If you don't want to play with them, you don't have to. So I just thought it might be worth highlighting. Thanks very much for watching. Drop your comments down below. Let me know what you think. and I'll catch you all in the next one.